Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, I'm Ebony, and as you can see by the title, and then if you've been following along for the past couple of videos that I've posted, you'll see that I've been kind of like on a pants making kick. So in this video, I'm just gonna be recapping all of the pants that I've made and kind of giving like a final thoughts, maybe even like a ranking of like my favorite to like least favorite. But yeah, I just wanted to come on here and do a nice little recap for you guys. So up first, we have a McCall's M8432, and I made mine out of a stretch suiting. I cut a size 24 and I made view A. For notions, you do need a hook and eye closure, and you do need some interfacing for the waistband. I'm not sure if that counts as a notion. And then I have them here. So if you're interested in more details, I do have a pattern review that I've already uploaded. So I'm not gonna go into like super details of the pattern, but just to kind of give you like a refresher. So this is what they look like. And then I don't think I showed in the review, but I struggled with the hook and eye, like so hand sewing it. And so it's not the best, but I'll show you guys here. It's still attached. And then with mine are a little different. I think the opening is supposed to be on this side, but the pattern instructions kind of confused me a little bit. And so mine ended up being on the right side, but that's fine. That's no big deal. They have been worn, so they need to be pressed, but they have 3 pleats in the front. And then they have 2 in the back. And yeah, overall, it's a pretty good pattern. I did make some minor adjustments, and again, to hear details on everything that I did, definitely watch that pattern review video that I've already posted. But I did have to kind of make some adjustments. I did have to take in the inseam because they were a little baggy at first. And I did have to take off some of the length, which usually I have to add length, but these pants are tall girl friendly. So if you're tall and you don't want to have to alter the length of a pattern, definitely give this pattern a shot. Okay, so up next we have Sewcially S9376. I have made this pattern twice, and I'm about to make it for a 3rd time. So that should kind of tell you what I think about this pattern. I made mine out of a stretch suiting. I have one pair that's like khaki chino like as far as color. And then I made another pair in gray. I cut the size 18 and I made view D and view A. And then as for notions, you need 1 1/4 inch elastic. I used 1 1/2. And then I also added 2 inches to the length, and I'm thinking of adding 3 the next time that I make these. So the first pair I'll show you, and again, I've been wearing these, so they're all gonna pretty much need a good press. But this is the first pair. So this is the khaki. And so this one is view D, which is the pleated ones. Oh, they're so wrinkled. Overall, sewing was not too bad. I think that these are beginner friendly, but again, for details, definitely go back and watch the video that I posted about this pattern. That's the front. And then for the hem, I just did a 5/8 hem, and that's what it calls for. So that was as usual. And something fun that I did was I used a fat quarter for the pocket lining, which I had never did before. And I thought that, you know, it would be a fun little detail to add to the pattern. And then the other pair that I made, and these, I've been wearing these just about every day to work. This is the gray pair. And these are view A, which has the pin tucks down the front. And if you have seen my channel before, in one of my sewing vlogs that I posted, I was really nervous about sewing pin tucks for the first time, and I got some super encouraging comments telling me to not be afraid and just go ahead and try it, and I love it. And so thank you for that, because I did. And these are my favorite pants to wear to work. They're so comfortable. And it's the elastic in the back. Pin tucks going all the way down. And then for these, the hem on them, I couldn't really follow the seam allowance for some reason. And I'm assuming it's because of the, you know, these are two different types of fabrics. They're both stretch suiting, but they're different like blends. And so I had to do a little faux hem on these. So what I did was I just serged the edge and then just stitched really close to the end. And I actually really like how this turned out. I don't know what this style of hem is called. I'm just calling it like a faux hem, but there's probably a name for it out there. But yeah, these might be my favorite. I don't know. I am planning to make this pattern for a third time. I'm gonna do this exact same view, but I'm gonna make them in a black stretch suiting, and that's just to, you know, kind of add a little bit of more variety to my wardrobe. Okay, and up next we have Butterick B6966. I made mine in a ponte knit. I cut it size 20 and I made view D. And your notions that you need are 3/4 inch elastic. I used 1/4. A fun fact about me, I'm not really like a stickler about notions. I kind of am at the point where I kind of have enough skill to modify based off of like what notion that I already have. I don't like just buying things just to buy them. I try and like not spend too much because I don't want this to become like an expensive hobby for me. I mean, every hobby kind of can be expensive, but I don't want to spend unnecessary money. So if I have a notion and then I feel like I can go ahead and use what I have, I'll just do that. So you'll notice a theme where I'll say they called for this, but this is what I used. And then another thing that I did for this pattern is I added 2 inches to the length. These are the pants. These are the most comfortable pair of pants that I have ever owned, that I have ever made. And I know that the pants that I just showed you before, the Simplicity pants, it feels like those are my favorite, but this Butterick pattern, I think these are my favorite. I wear these all the time. These you can dress up or you can dress down. I've worn them to work. I've worn them on the weekends. No one knows the difference. But the cool thing about these pants is, or I guess this pattern rather, is it's one pattern piece and you cut it out twice, and the pattern does not have side seams. So it's just a bunch of darts that you tailor kind of like to your measurements. And this pattern is a Palmer plush pattern. And if you're not familiar with that brand or those designers, they are, I think they call themselves the fit experts, and it clearly shows. They have a lot of tips for like beginners and tailoring the fit to fit you perfectly. And so for that reason alone, this pattern, I had a very fun time sewing this pattern. The pattern, like I said, does have a lot of darts. So you're just gonna be, you know, become an expert if you've never sewn darts before. This is the pattern to try because this is a knit. And so if you're struggling to kind of align your markings, it won't really show. It'll be a lot more forgiving. But this is the pants. You can see it has you attach the elastic and then you just fold it down and you press it. What I did was every little seam I just stitched inside of. So like the side seam and then maybe like a few of the darts I stitched right in the seam just to kind of make sure that it stays folded down. But these pants are my literal favorite pants. The hem, it has a nice chunky hem at the bottom. I think the hem is 1 1/4 or it might be 2 inches. I hemmed mine 2 inches. And what I did was I just serged along the edge and then I just stitched all the way around. So these are my favorite and I can't recommend this pattern enough. If you don't have this pattern, definitely go out and get it the next time Butterick is on sale. I plan to make several of these to keep in my wardrobe. These are the perfect pants. All right, you guys, and last but not least, I have another Butterick pattern, which is B6933. This one I also made in a stretch suiting, a black stretch suiting. I cut the size 24. I made view C, and for notions, you need 7-inch invisible zipper. I used a 22" and just cut it to my desired length. And then I added 2 inches to the length just to make them tall girl friendly. Okay, so these I'm not the biggest fan of. I mean, they definitely look like the pattern, so I don't think it's like I was duped. But I don't really care for the fit. They're a little baggy up top. I think if I were to make this pattern again, I would add belt loops to it. It doesn't call for belt loops, but they're just, I find myself having to like constantly pull them up. I don't have them with me because I wear them, so they're in the wash right now, but overall, like the quality was good. The pattern instructions weren't too bad. They do call for an invisible zipper, and that was my first time sewing an invisible zipper, so they helped me conquer that fear. They also have a super chunky hem similar to the previous Butterick pattern that I had, so they have a really nice drape to them, but they're not my favorite. I don't hate them though, and I still like the pattern, and I think that I would make the pattern again, but I think that I would just know to kind of draft my own belt loops and just, you know, wear them with the belt, because they seriously, like, they're very baggy. And I kind of had a feeling that they would be, because I based it off of my hip measurements, but the hip and the waist measurement of the pattern was kind of like, I knew that they would be a little bit baggy like in the waist, but I thought that I could take it in, but I don't know. I think I just need to wear them with the belt. So I don't know if maybe later I'll go back in and add loops to the pair that I already have, or if I'll just figure out a way to take them in. But yeah, overall though, still recommend that pattern. I plan on making the skirt version, or the skirt view, that is a part of this pattern as well, but yeah, they're not necessarily my favorite. So those are all the pants that I have made. Definitely go back and watch the reviews that I've posted. I'm pretty sure I have a video for all of these. Let me just check my notes really quick. Yeah, all of these have a video of me reviewing, so if you want more details, definitely go back and watch those videos. Or if you have any questions, of course, feel free to leave me a comment down below. Let me know what your favorite was, and if you have made these patterns before, and if you have made it this far in the video, thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already, please subscribe, and I will catch you guys in my next upload.